We are recording, so thank you everybody for hopping on. I think that this is one of those really important subjects that we should be talking about tonight. And I know that Emily has given this call before and it went over really well. And I saw a lot of progress in the coaches who had attended or who were on that call. I saw a lot of progress made quickly in their posts and in their pictures and even in the responses that they were getting. So I figured, why not do it again for those of you who missed it or weren't able to hop on, and hopefully this recording will work and we can share it with everybody going forward. So Emily, I'm going to pass it right on to you so that we can get started.
Sounds good. All right. Well, I am going to share my screen. This is all on a slideshow. Hang on. I want to make sure I choose the right one. Okay. So I normally do not like doing these types of calls, putting this in like big mode, because then I can't see your faces and it's weird talking to a computer screen. But the last time I did that, the recording like put all of our faces right over the slideshow. So I'm going to do a full screen. So I won't be able to see any of you, but feel free to just like hop in and ask a question or stop me. Or if you have something to add on the specific tip that I'm giving, please jump in. This is like super laid back. Alrighty, so let me see if I can figure out how to put this into screenshot. Or hold on. There we go. Okay, I can't see you. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so a little tidbit before we jump in with all of this. This is a slideshow just packed full of different ideas, basically for you to take and apply right away to use in your own graphics and images and photos. But a little warning before we start, this is not meant to paralyze you. So if you've been posting pictures and you look at some of these tips and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm doing what I shouldn't be doing, do not let that stop you. It is okay to just take little pieces of this and start applying it. No one expects you to like do all of these things immediately the next day perfectly. So just take from this and start applying things, but don't feel stressed out about it. All right, so I have this whole slideshow just broken down into little tips. And like I said, just hop in if you have some things to add as well. So first tip, which seems simple, but I see a lot of photos where people do this, where they're looking at themselves in like their reflection on the picture and not in the little camera, like the little whole camera on the selfie mode. So something as small as that, just adjusting to make sure you're looking directly into the camera, can make your pictures just feel more like you're talking directly to somebody with your post, and makes people feel just more connected. You can see in the two comparison ones how that would like feel more like I was talking directly to somebody. Natural lighting is always your like number one choice if you have it available. So something that I started doing is I would look around my house during like daylight hours, and I would find a spot in my house that always consistently gave me really good light, not a lot of shadows. And for me, that's my back door. For you, it might be some other place in your house. But whenever you can, use a spot with natural lighting. It just naturally makes a picture look brighter and clearer and crisper. Obviously, it's not always an option, but you can see Sheena's comparison photos, how it can really change and have quite an impact. All right, so many of us take photos when there's not natural lighting because it's not always light outside or it's not always daytime. So if you get photos that are dark and kind of dreary, don't just post them. There are some tips and tricks that I will show you and I'll break down for you in just a bit, how you can actually alter your images so they are lighter and brighter. Cropping is huge also. You can see in the picture on the left here, compared to the right, I zoomed in more. I just cropped out some of the background. Think about what kind of impact you're going for. I wanted the focus to be more on me in the picture, so I took away some of the background to kind of get people's eyes more on the focus. And obviously you could see I lightened this up, and I did add a filter to that one, which we'll talk about in just a bit. So just a few more examples following this one. Lightening, brightening, and cropping are always the three things that I do whenever possible to have a better impact. So Sheena's picture on the left, you can see that tree coming up from behind her head. If you're looking at the picture quickly as you're scrolling, your eye might catch that as well. So you could see she cropped that out. And then I'm not sure if she used a filter here, if she lightened it, but whatever she did, you can see the impact in the colors. Even the shake looks more delicious and appetizing. Her necklace colors are popping out, her face is brighter. And it's just one of those images that as you're scrolling, it catches your eye and you stop. Same thing here. These were just a ton of family photos in terrible lighting. And you can see in the first one, not only is it like distracting with the whole background, but in our kitchen, we have that one picture that has like the big light area on it. Your eye just kind of doesn't know where to look. Like it knows it's supposed to look at the family, but there's just like too much going on. So cropping it out, and then I lightened that picture as well. You can see our faces are just brighter. It's easier to see the expression in them as well. All right, so as far as the how for lightening pictures, if you have an iPhone, whenever you take a picture, you can see in step 1 right there, there's that little icon at the bottom of your picture. I think you have to tap on it. And so when you tap on that icon, then it pops up in step 2, those 3-4 different options. The third one over that looks, I don't know, kind of sunnish is the light one. So you click on light, and then from there, we're in the picture number 4 now, you can actually just drag that and lighten or darken your photo. I do this probably almost every photo I take. I'll go in and I'll just see, like, okay, if I lighten this, is it brighter? Is it clearer? Is it crisper? Is it going to catch more like eyes in a scroll? Doesn't always, but I always check the lightness before I post something. If you don't have an iPhone, I'm not entirely sure if a Droid has this. If you have one and know how to do this, feel free to hop in and share that. But I know there are also apps as well that you can use to lighten up your photos.
Emily, this is Natasha. I'm an iPhone user, you guys, but I know that Nikita is an Android user, and she has shown me that they have on her, they have like a selfie thing where like when you go to take your selfie pictures, you can actually like go in and manipulate it.
Really?
Right away. Like it'll change everything, like your blemishes, like it just is a filter immediately on their camera filter that they can use, which is so interesting to me.
That is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's good to know.
If you have an Android, I would look into it and like look through that for it if you don't know if it exists.
Perfect. All right. Again, this is for iPhone, but filters, it sounds like the Android has these as well, some filters built in. I don't use filters on everything, but there are some that a filter just really adds that extra pop. For me, I really like the chrome filter. Again, it does not always work. Sometimes it makes it look just way too fake or way too orange, but you can see it in the like before and afters there, especially on the right. Like it just brightens that picture up enough where it feels more like just something that would catch people's attention. So definitely play with some filters and see it. You don't want it to look like so out there and so like fake, but just something to make it clear is always, I like doing that. There are filters on Instagram too, if you're an Instagram user, or again, an app is an option. All right, tip number 5, get some part of your body in on your pictures whenever you can. This is not something that you have to do 100% of the time. It's still okay to take a picture of like your plate of food. You don't need to like stick a finger in there or anything, but think about doing this more often than you are right now. I heard somewhere that they did some sort of study and found that people were more drawn to pictures that had like part of a person in them. So if I were to just take a picture of The Universe Has Your Back, that book on my desk, compared to the picture of me with it in my lap with my cup of tea and my hand in there, people will respond better to the picture with the cup of tea in it. And same thing with these other ones. Just trying to get a little bit of you in the picture just catches attention, and it makes it feel more personal. It's just more interesting to look at too. People kind of like, it feels like you're getting a glimpse into your current situation. Angles. This is another really fun thing to get creative and play with. I like having the phone, like if you hold it up facing down, sometimes that creates a cool look to your picture. Or if you get right down to the level of the stuff, like the third picture over, I think I was like laying on the ground to take that picture just to get that angle. Just play around with it. It's just adding visual interest. You want your pictures to just be different and just try new things. All right, food pictures, because obviously as coaches, we're sharing about healthy foods and dinner options and whatnot. Make sure that when you're sharing food, try your best at least to make the food look appetizing. Not only because you want people to find value in the recipe that you share and stop to like pay attention to it, but having a food picture that captures people's attention will get your post more attention. There are so many posts on Facebook now, especially people share so many recipes and food things and different like step-by-step food videos that you do have to do like just put a little extra effort into regular old food pictures. So this is another area where I always play with the lighting or add the chrome filter. Can make food look really, really good sometimes. Not always, but sometimes it looks really cool with the chrome filter. And text, try to keep the text simple and clean so it's not terribly distracting from what you're trying to showcase. All right, this is another little tip I heard and couldn't tell you which training, but that when people see photos in their newsfeed with expression, that they are much more connected and are much more likely to respond and engage with that photo because it makes them feel something. It like elicits a response in them. So I gave some examples here you can see, and I mean just the last picture is a perfect example. You're scrolling Facebook and you see Sheena's face pop up like that. Maybe you scroll right past it and then you're like, wait, what was wrong with her? So you like go back up. She looks unhappy or disappointed or frustrated, something, but it makes you curious. It makes you want to know like, okay, wait, what's going on? And then you read the text. Photos, like the whole point in photos and putting this time and energy into making them look better is because that's what's going to get more people to stop and actually read what you have to say. So expressions are good. You don't want all of your photos to be just the same, smile holding something. Try to mix it up. And there is no shame in taking a bajillion photos to find the right expression because it's not easy to do. That first picture, when I'm holding the cup, I kid you not, I probably had like 20 that I deleted that were just ridiculous that I would never show. But like, I don't know if I'm just not good at expressions naturally, like if I'm taking a picture. So it's okay to just play with it and just delete and no shame. All right, text on photos. I know a lot of you guys either do this or know how to do this, but adding text can have quite an impact. You don't want to add text in every single photo you have. It's not necessary. But when you need a little extra something to grab the attention, there are some really cool apps that we'll show you later for how to add text to your different photos. And you can see, I think it's on the next one too, in that coffee one, there's purposeful space in the picture. So if you know ahead, okay, I'm going to post a recipe of whatever, cream mocha latte. When you take a picture of it, be mindful of where you can add text in your image and then leave space for it. Here's another great example of adding the text in there, but also she added the filter. The black and white filter can be really powerful and also is a great filter to have added to your picture whenever you see, like in her first picture, you see how that light is like shining in the top corner. It just takes your eye, even a little bit, it takes your eye away from what you want to focus on. And that black and white filter gets rid of that. So same thing here. Be mindful of where you have space. Sorry. Because you can always add a quote or add text or something for visual interest. Find fun backgrounds. I bet you'd be surprised just taking a little field trip around your house, room to room, looking at tabletops, floors, sofas, anything, decks that has fun textures to it. Keep those in mind. You can use those as backdrops just to make typical like pictures of just things a little more interesting to look at. And all of these I lightened. All right, one of my new favorite things to do with images, maybe you've seen this before for Facebook friends, is I like to pop out color for focus and fun. So I'll show you how to do this in the next slide, but I don't overuse it. You don't really want to overuse any of these tips really, but I do use it when I want the attention to be on a specific subject or subjects, and I feel like the background is a little just too distracting. So in my kitchen, there's a lot of color happening back there. It's kind of a mess on the countertop. And I think this is a Shakeology post. I wanted people to just notice my kids and their Shakeology. And if I didn't black and white out the back, their eye would go to like the glass cleaner or that candle or the strawberries, and they might not even notice the Shakeology cup. So putting that black and white in on the back and then putting the color back where I wanted the attention is a good strategy to use for that. Excuse me. All right, so here's how you do this. I think there's a couple different ways. I use PicMonkey, so you can do this on the app or on the computer. I shouldn't say always, but I prefer to use the computer for this. It's just, I can get it like cleaner lines. So you go in and you have to add your picture as like a sticker. If you're familiar with PicMonkey, it's a little butterfly icon. And when you add your photo onto the design or onto whatever page, you can click on, I think that's clicked on original. Yeah, you want the original color. And then you can adjust the brush size, and you can go in and you can literally just paint the color back into the part of the picture where you want it. All right, this is probably one of the most important slides, I think, is have fun with it. Like photos and graphics and images, it should be fun. And don't get stressed out about it. Instagram, Bitmoji, Snapchat, there are some really cool, fun things you can do with photos. And the more fun you have with it, the more creative you can get, your audience sees that too, and they look forward to more of your images. All right, so I just went through my phone and grabbed a bunch of pictures that personally I would put some effort into before I would post them. Some of them are just a little too dark. The dogs one is blurry is okay, like if you're using it for an effect, but I try to avoid posting really blurry pictures if I can help it. Just because, to get that clearer look. Again, if you're going for that effect, then it would work. But for there, it just didn't work for me. And then the picture with the girls walking down the stairs, my eye goes to the window because the window is the bright part of the picture. So if I were to use that, I'd probably put the black and white filter on it and paint the color back into the kids and lighten the whole photo up so they're really what pops. Little changes can have a huge impact, as you can see in these examples here. And these are all simple things, everything that we've talked about already, lightening and brightening and filters, natural lighting, and it shouldn't be terribly time consuming. All right, anything before I go into some of the bonus things here? Do you guys have any questions or things to add? All right, so something that helps tremendously, actually a few things, and I'll share that on this slide and then the next one. Take pictures of everything that speaks to you, whether you love it, whether you hate it, if it's a special moment. if something's like, I mean, anything, the more pictures you have in your library to go through, the easier your posting is going to be. A lot of the posts that I make, they don't always use real-time photos. Whenever I'm stuck, I'll just stuck with what to post. I'll open up my photo album on my phone and I'll scroll through and I'll just find something that I want to post about that day. So keep a library of images for yourself. This picture here, I just used actually tonight on my business page because I didn't know what to post. So I went through my album and I took that picture at TJ Maxx like months ago. I forgot I even had that picture. And as I'm scrolling, because I have no idea what to post tonight, I was like, oh, that's perfect. And so I used it. Let's see. All right, so whenever you guys are scrolling social media or Pinterest or something, save what inspires you, save what you love. And I'm going to show you a really cool way to do that, but not yet. So these are apps that are worth checking out. This is just a tiny sampling of ones that I have tried and liked. There are so many more. Some of these are free, some of these are paid. I will say though that if you're going to use a free app and they put a watermark logo of their company name on your photo, don't use it. Like I would either crop that out or pay the $2. It's really, I mean, it's $2 when you think about how much use you'll get out of it. Pay for it to get rid of the Photofy logo. That's the one. And I did this all the time when I was like, just started with learning about all this. All my pictures would have like a Photofy logo on the bottom. So what I would do then once I realized I didn't want it there is I would try to crop it out afterwards, but then some of my like picture was getting cropped out. So just paid the $1.99. And then I had full reign of using it without their logo. So don't be afraid to pay a couple bucks for apps. They can do huge things for you. Word Swag, if you don't have Word Swag, it is amazing. Natasha, is that one that you use?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's super cool.
And I couldn't agree more about, like, remove the logos, you guys. I know Emily's a big Ebates user, and I am too. And if you go through Ebates, you can get 7% back on all of your app purchases for Apple.
What?
Yeah, music and apps.
Do you know how much money I've spent?
I'm sorry, but you're welcome.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I didn't even know you could buy apps if you weren't on your phone.
Yeah, well, I just go through my my app for Ebates on my phone, and it will just open iTunes or the store for me, Apple Store, and 7% back.
I didn't even know there was an app for Ebates. Okay, thank you. I know what I'm downloading next. Okay, so a few little extra tools that I have found very helpful. I cannot recommend this enough, a tripod. I didn't have one for probably 2 years of coaching, and now that I do, I have 2 of them. I love them so much because I have them in like different spots of the house. It's amazing for a few reasons. Video, if you're not already recording some video from your workouts or cooking or whatever, having that, like this one specifically is adjustable, so you can do widescreen or up and down, and you can like manipulate it a whole bunch of ways. It's so helpful. And then they also sell that little remote. I have that. I don't use that remote as much as I thought I would, but it's cool because if you need to take your before pictures and you don't want to beg your husband or your boyfriend or a friend to like come take pictures of you and then make them retake 100 more pictures because you didn't like the way you were looking, you can just set your camera on your tripod, use this little remote, and it's Bluetooth to your phone. So then when you push the button, it just takes the picture. You could just hold the remote like discreetly in your hand so no one would know you had that. The tripod, I think that thing is like, I don't know, $10 to $15. So you can write it off as a business expense, but definitely worth it. It's what I use for all my workouts. I just record my full workout and then I bring the movie into iMovie or some sort of video editing app. I just cut out a little part that I want to share and then I delete or save the rest of the video somewhere else to get it off my phone. All right, ring light. I have one of these. I don't use it anymore. I don't know why. I think I don't know why. If you have one and love it and want to like give a plug for the ring light, go ahead. It is good in like darker situations, but I just don't use mine as much as I used to. I'm going to turn, oh wait, I'm on screen share. Remind me when I get off screen share to show you another thing I have in my office. All right. Okay. Google Keep. I had never heard of it, but when I did, it seriously is amazing for everything we've been talking about with taking a bunch of photos, saving inspiration, and keeping it all in one place. So I think this is the end of it. Hold on. Okay. All right, so let me get out of here. Of course, I didn't open up my Google Keep. All right. Sorry, I should have had this already opened. All right, so Google Keep is just an extension. So if you have Gmail, like you can see here, instead of going to Drive, here's Google Keep. I think you might have to add it on. I'm not 100% sure. I don't remember how I did it. But Google Keep is basically like, it's just the easiest way to save visual or text ideas from multiple different places. So I'll take you into mine. I'll show you what it looks like. It's going to look visually overwhelming at first, but I promise it's not. All right. So Google Keep is kind of like a notebook, but it is awesome for images. And you can also do things like to-do lists or add on like text ideas. So what I do and how I use this is anytime I'm on Pinterest or even Facebook or anywhere, Google Images, and I see something that inspires me that I think I might want to use at some point, I just save it to Google Keep, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. Actually, maybe I'll start there. All right, let's go to Pinterest. All right, let me see. Okay, that's cute. All right, so let's say I'm scrolling Pinterest and I see this and think, oh my gosh, this would be a great post idea for like a summer treat, maybe with like homemade frozen yogurt. I don't know, whatever this inspires you to think about. So in the past, what I would do is I would save this to like my Google Drive or somewhere. And it was just, I just had trouble like with storage and all that. So when you double tap on it, do you see down here, it says Google Keep? I can just click Save Image to Keep, and then a little box will pop up over here. So let's say I want to make a post about this, I don't know, maybe Shakeology ice cream. So I can just take a note, like use this for a Shako ice cream post. And then you can add these labels. So I have my labels all set up. You can set these up however you want. So I clicked on that little label button, and then this would be food and drink. I don't think I have a kid's food here. No. So I just click that food and drink. And then I can just keep going on my merry way. But you can use this on your phone. There's an app for it. You can use it, like if I'm on Facebook, just today I saw another coach on our team. Let me go back. See, then it shows up right there on my Google Keep. I just saw, I think it was Katie Very who posted this one with the wine. I loved the quote. So what I'll probably do at some point is I'll use that quote in my own image. So maybe if I'm having a glass of wine, or maybe if I'm feeling like pessimistic that day, I want to make a post like this. I don't necessarily save things I'm just going to share the image. I save a lot of quotes that I can use on my own workout posts of my photos of me doing it, or just things that inspire me, basically. So over here, you can see my labels. And I kind of break down my labels more by like what I like to share about. So I should probably have like a wine and cupcake label, or maybe if you're potty training, you'd have a potty training label. So if you click here, so I have posts that would be, if I'm looking for like an engaging post for people to respond to. or fitness posts. Oh, so you can even save your own photos. So like sometimes if I'm going through my camera roll or on my computer on iPhotos, I'll be like, oh, I love that picture. I should remember to do that later. Like, and I'll never remember to do it. I can just save it to Google Keep and give it a label as fitness. And then when I'm needing a fitness post, I can just click on fitness and be like, oh, okay, I did yoga today. I could post a picture of my dog sitting on the yoga mat. Like, and that was from probably a year ago. But it just, you can keep everything in here. And let's say I had a bunch of ideas for fitness posts. Like I was scrolling Facebook and I got inspired. This little icon up here, you can click on that and you can list off items. So I can say like inspirational post, post about weight loss, whatever. You can like list out some ideas you have and then just save it as a note. A note with an image, a note with, I don't know what I just did. I don't know what that is. I've never used that. Drawing? I don't know. Maybe you'd use that. But do you get the idea of how Google Keep works?
For sure. I've never used this before, so I'm intrigued.
The best part is you don't have to save it to like your Google Drive. You don't have to save it to a folder on your computer. It doesn't take up any storage, and you can access it from anywhere because it's on your phone too.
Yeah.
Which is really, really awesome. And so the other cool thing, you can archive things. So let's say I used this post, and you can see I took a note, named that food. I was thinking, okay, on Facebook, I can say like, what food do you think this is? Some sort of engaging post. After I use that, this little icon down here is archive. If I click that, it'll go to my archived folder. And the only reason I'm saving these archived things is because then at some point, if I have a new coach who's like, I have no idea what to post, I can send them ideas and things that I've posted to give them just a starting point. So you can see a lot of these things, like I've used a lot of these quotes, but not just like a picture share. I'll use it with my own photo. And that's important because people will connect so much more with a picture of you laying on your couch with your coffee and your text says, I love a wild Friday night. They will respond to that 100 times better than just reposting this little image right here. I love a wild Friday night. That's generic. And when people are scrolling really quickly, nobody even knows that comes from you because so many people follow different pages that post memes and graphics and whatnot. So it's okay to post those once in a while. I just wouldn't recommend filling your timeline with generic memes and quotes like that. Okay, so I think that's it. Do you guys want me to go back to anything or go into more detail? We have 4 minutes. Or questions or ideas?
I have a question, Emily. It's Jordan.
Hey.
How do you like, I know sometimes people just put like words and messages without a picture. How do you like know when to do a picture or when just to post like text, or like how to juggle those two when you're posting on Facebook and stuff?
That's an awesome question. So this is what I do. I stalk myself. So I will literally probably every day go to my Facebook page and I'll scroll and I'll look and be like, okay, I've only done pictures for the last 10 posts. Maybe I'll do just a text. Or, okay, I've done so many just random generic quotes. I need to like get my face in here. Or sometimes I'll scroll and I'll be like, hello, 25 selfies. It's time to throw a generic quote in there. So like I just look at your own page. And then another thing, it's also important to look at your page as the public views it. So you can,
right.
There's a way to do that because I know a lot of people have things that are friends only, which is fine, but you want to make sure that you see what the public sees. So as you're making new friends through different Facebook groups, you want to know what they're seeing before they accept your friend request. So if you go to view from public and you're like, wow, I look like a Beachbody billboard because that's all you do public, they're not going to accept your friend request because they don't see anything else about you. So just make sure you do stalk yourself as a friend and then as like a stranger.
Okay. Thanks.
Yep. That was a good question. There. I moved you all up so I'm not looking down.
Does
All
anyone else have any questions? Nope. Well, I appreciate this call, Emily. I think it was super helpful, super insightful. I think a lot of people who are on the call have learned something. I know I have. And I'm definitely glad we recorded it so that we can share this with all the future coaches, because it's just, you know, I know it's one of those things that can really make someone feel overwhelmed, especially if you don't like taking pictures of yourself in the first place and then are worried about being judged. So just ways to make it easier and simpler and, you know, everything.
Oh, good. Glad it helped.
So thank you guys for hopping on. Just real quick, we have less than a minute, but if you haven't reached your goals yet for the month, you still have an entire week. There's no reason that you can't. So if you haven't reached your goals for a Success Club, run an event, make sure you're messaging people, make sure you're really just being intentional with all the posts that you're doing this week, and that at least one time each day you're doing some sort of call to action so that people know that you are open for business, but don't make all of your posts about Beachbody, okay? If you guys have questions, you need help, hop on the team page, reach out to your upline coach. We're all here to help you, okay? Have a great Wednesday night, you guys. Thank you for hopping on.